Since discovering that veganism is a lie, I have decided to go back to my native heritage and continue eating raw fish when I can and raw oysters whenever I can get them. And I've gone back to consuming meat, eggs, dairy and cheese again. And the reason why is because I have just discovered that quite possibly we actually do need animal fats, especially for the brain. And if you're likely to get Alzheimer's or dementia, you're more likely to get it on a vegan or vegetarian diet due to the fact that there is not enough meat or fat or cholesterol, which I have just discovered we actually need in our diet. So I feel that now I'm more ethical as a meat eater than I was trying to be vegan or vegetarian. And the reason is because I care more about the animals' welfare by making sure that I shop at good farms and places where I know the animals are treated very well and are given a good life, such as there's an egg and pig farm where I live in New Zealand, and they have a website. It's actually called freedomfarms.co.nz, and you could look it up anywhere in the world and have a look at how the Kiwis are doing it. And I think they're doing a really great job, and the animals are very, very well looked after. And the vegans will go, well, are you happy with yourself for stabbing the animals? And I'm like, that's the least of their problem. All you care about is, did they get stabbed or not? That would be putting them out of their misery if they had led a horrible life, like in factory farming, for instance. The animals are not well looked after. They are being abused and they are in stressful and uncomfortable and not adequate conditions. So the laws need to be tightened up on animal welfare, and they should be looking at making sure that farmers are taking good care of the animals, that the animal welfare comes first. So the farm I just mentioned, on the website there's a whole list, a checklist, and they also have photos of the animals, and you can probably go and visit them, and I am planning on doing that and doing a video about it for YouTube sometime in the future whenever I can. So I'm not sure where they are. I might have to travel out into the country to see them, but these animals have actually been bred as farm animals, and a lot of them probably would not survive as well in the wild because they've not been adapted to the wild. They are domesticated farm animals, and they do require mostly the care of a farmer in a lot of cases. So you can look at a lot of tribes, like some native tribes that still exist in Africa, who live with their herd of cows or goats, and they're like nomadic, and they wander all over the wilderness or wherever their native areas, and with the animals following them around. So they coexist happily together, and the whole village looks after the animals. They all take care of the animals, and the animals live with them and follow them around while they're looking for pasture for the animals to eat from. And then when it comes time to cull one of the animals for food, they have a ceremony. In a lot of cases they have a special ritual, and some of them give special prayers of gratitude and thank you for taking the animal's life. And it's done in a quick way where the animal has not suffered, and they eat the whole animal. Nothing is wasted. They eat everything, all the organs, the eyes, the brains, the whole animal from nose to tail. So it's come to my attention that we've been eating it that way for thousands of years. Suddenly, with the modern era and the pharmaceutical industries and the medical industries and the beauty industries and the cosmetic industries, that it's big business to keep us sick. So if there is an agenda to push a vegan vegetarian diet, if there is an agenda to depopulate the world, wouldn't that be the perfect alibi? Wouldn't that be the perfect Trojan horse? It comes in the disguise of health, because when you look at all the ways that, let's say, the powers that be or the government are doing to make you sick, like putting fluoride in the water and sugar in every single processed food, it's full of sugar, and sugar is a poison. Would that not be a good reason to also think, well, why wouldn't they lie about veganism as well? It's highly possible. And they plan these things for 50 to 100 years. They plan. Because I don't even think that these people in power, the shadow government, not the government, which are just puppets, but the shadow government, I don't even believe that they are human. Because when you look at what they do to the world, especially to children, they can't be human. Because no human could possibly do the atrocities that they happily do on mankind. But anyway, getting back to why I've decided to go back to eating my native diet. Because one, it's probably the most healthiest diet of all, and there's nothing wrong with fishing or hunting. That is our natural birthright, and to deny that is a crime against humanity. What would these native people do who live in tribes that are still existing today do if they could not fish or hunt. And half of the world, if not most of the world, in third world countries, rely on fishing and rely on hunting, and if they couldn't fish and hunt, they would die and perish. They would never survive. So basically, veganism, if it was enforced, is taking away people's human rights. And one is to be able to feed oneself, and by making hunting illegal is another form of control, isn't it? It's controlling completely the food supply. So you have no other choice than to go to a shop and buy your meat or fish or vegetables, because they're taking all your freedoms away by saying it's illegal and a crime to hunt and fish for your food. So it's a crime to be self-sufficient. It's a crime to look after yourself. So my conclusion about veganism is that it is actually child abuse if it's forced on infants and young children.